Ethereum Bitcoin pairing getting its first major weekly signal that we've seen over the past couple of years. And what does that mean? It implies that the overall idea of crypto rotations is coming to fruition here, which does imply, as we've been saying, long-term health of this overall market cycle. So long-term, still probably some long-term upside, very, very likely some long-term upside, as this does play kind of hand in hand with that overall theory. And I suppose without further ado, we can just jump right into this one, starting off with the chart view over here. And when we reference the Market Oracle Pro indicator, there have been 6 prior times in its history where the weekly has fired off a buy signal, not including the current one over here. And if we were to look at those prior 6, well, there's been an average move from the time when the actual signal on the Oracle Pro indicator was confirmed to the next major high of about 137%, or sorry, not 137, 370%. My dyslexia is just like, I've never been diagnosed with dyslexia, but I certainly do have it. Like I'm just redacted. It's very possible. And then also the amount of days on average it's taken to get to that next major high has been about 130 days. So this is a long-term setup. This is not anything to do with the short term. You can see ebbs and flows in the short term, obviously. It doesn't mean that there can't be pullbacks, even like great pullbacks in the short term, but overall for the long term, it does seem that, for the next half year, we do expect this one to likely trade higher. And if we do see the average play out, that's going to be a pretty damn big move. I should say, however, that these first 2 setups over here, these were maybe a bit more exaggerated, let's say, as you do see, about 950% and then 940% right here. And then the rest of them are a little bit more reasonable. I mean, still 100% moves basically. And then the most recent one was probably the least impressive one, actually, at about 15.5%. But even then, from the signal given to the next high, that was a decent gain. To put that in perspective, if we see this one pick upwards and onwards from here, did I just say 10.5%, 15.5%? Wow, you better be paying attention on screen because I can't trust my vocals, man. That would put Ethereum Bitcoin pair probably closer to 7 million Satoshis, which was one of our major targets, or is one of our major targets, based off of the reversal that we did see really beginning with that first higher low in kind of early February that we covered last week, or I think maybe it was the week before, something like that. Anyways, of course, if it does play out closer to the average, I mean, it's going to be a fucking monstrous move. I imagine maybe even to new all-time highs on this pair. Let's see what that would look like. Yeah, it would be new all-time highs. 370% would put it at spot 28 Bitcoin, or spot 28. Would that be 28 million Satoshis? Yeah, that's 28 million Satoshis. Pretty impressive, but I do think that would be maybe a little bit further out of the reach for things. Of course, we got rid of these first 2 setups over here. The results are going to be much less, but overall, likely a continuation off this move. The reversal is real, and I think the people who are looking for Ethereum to come home, they're going to might be humbled in this situation right here. I don't think that's what's happening. At least as long as Ethereum is above the February lows, that would be invalidation. Below February lows, okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's the reversal is a trap, and this one's going much, 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 much lower. But I don't think that's what's happening here, or at least not first and foremost. Until that does happen, upside is the most likely to be happening, and this is just literally the first tick of that confirmed signal, again, on the Market Oracle Pro indicator, which you can find as a part of a package with the Krown range stats over here that you can see, that I've been showing on all these videos, and also even includes the Jewel Light and all sorts of other indicators as well in the link in the description below. Anyways, while we're here with the Krown range statistics, I should say that Monday specifically for this pair hasn't been too great for Ethereum, actually. Just 45.83% of all closures in its history closing positively. Not super interesting. Quite a low volatile day as well, at just about 1.25%. So let's just see what the likely range would be for today. And again, in the short term, this doesn't imply that, Ethereum Bitcoin is going to continue to the upside. It just means, for the long term, again, we're looking at, likely the next half year of price action, put things into perspective. And seeing that this one is retesting its prior highs from January, this sort of failed rally attempt over here, pullback from this region, probably likely. How far deep can the pullback come? It could come, maybe a little bit below 6 million Satoshis, but overall, long term, the direction seems to be set. While we are here, let's go look at just Ethereum spot. Let me bring it up right here. Boom, there we go. And we can see that Monday is actually a little bit better for Ethereum versus the dollar at 54, over 54% of all Mondays throughout its history closing positively, with an average return on the positive side of 2.68% and on the negative side 2.71%. So let's see what that would look like in terms of like Ethereum versus the dollar perspective. By the way, this buy signal over here, not bad. Well, let's see, what would 268 look like to the upside? That would put Ethereum somewhere closer to 3,200, like just under 3,200. Plays out to the downside, then, you know, range low would probably be like 30, something like that. So actually, as far as this one goes, upside continuation, not, I mean, it's, yeah, it could very easily happen today, I suppose. Anyways, I'm curious if there's an Oracle Pro signal on the 5-day or the weekly as well. Well, there was. I mean, it's just way back on over here. What about the 5-day? Yeah, there was a more recent one over here as well, but actually the daily seems to be the most relevant for this one. Getting these moves, especially these upside moves, pretty damn well. All right, not bad. Anyways, moving on through my notes. And by the way, I want to say a massive thank you for all of the feedback on the visuals on screen, because you know, as I set up this new computer and everything, like you have to redo all the settings for the stream and everything, and things just get lost in translation, but I think I've got most things working pretty decently now, so that's good. Anyways, yes. Let's get over to this chart right here. I should also be cognizant of the 5-day Joule basically setting up for a continuation signal as well. This one's already supported by DMI, so while you might see a short-term pullback, like a very short-term pullback, this one very likely does continue towards new highs, the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing, that is, in the next 5 to 10 day spread. So, you know, it's looking good. It's looking good. Anyways, and then also, of course, the 2-week bullish divergence that we identified on last week's video as potential has been also confirmed here too, according to Caretakers RSI, which, well, yeah, upwards and onwards is the name of the game, I do suspect. Anyways, we can get on to some Bitcoin action now. Why not? Let's go over here to Bitcoin. Is there anything to be aware of on this particular chart as the next 2-week time frame does close? It hasn't really done anything new for me, so not much really. Maybe the weekly has something of interest, and again, not much. I mean, there is potential for bearish divergence on the weekly RSI, but that would imply that Bitcoin must close and confirm a local high for this sort of February run right here, which would really only be had if we do see a weekly closure below last week's low, which is 50,400 on the index. So if you see that, okay, fair enough. Weekly bearish divergence is confirmed, and we probably see an attempt back down below 50,000 bucks, probably towards 40,850 or so. Or sorry, oh my God, I did it again. I am seriously dyslexic. Holy shit. This is crazy. 48,500 is what I mean to say, not 45,800. Jesus, man, really bad. Of course, you know, things could get worse than that but I, you know, like I said on yesterday's video, the statistics favor sideways, generally speaking, from here. And you know, what if it did come down to like mid 48s? I'd say that's probably going to be a nice wick low, and you know, you probably see things settle back around like, you know, low 50s yet again. I think this next month is going to be more or less boring. Anyways, let's go over here. Let's go check out the daily HPDR band, and we can see kind of exactly what you would have expected to see on declining volatility. So volatility contracted. We saw price action basically trade sideways, and now it has officially met the median. So we've seen simultaneously a reset on the HPDRO representing directional volatility. So theoretically, you know, this one is kind of setting up for a decent range move here. The range now extrapolating all the way up to the 50% range high at 55,500. Seems like kind of a lot, versus the low side at 49,300. If Bitcoin does continue to start to close below the median here at 52,300 on CME, I would say that is going to favor the range lows over anything else. And, you know, a short-term pullback from here, again, I don't think is anything like super crazy. So no real strong opinions on Bitcoin other than that. Really, my strongest opinion on Bitcoin is we're going to see more or less a ranging market over the next month, and that is going to be long-term bullish. But for the next month probably gets more boring. We see rotations take over. Ethereum Bitcoin pair being bullish, I think, is a really, really good representative of that, especially going off of the sort of 2017 schematic in which Bitcoin had its major rally. Most things bled pretty heftily versus their Bitcoin pairings. Then Ethereum kind of picked up the ball and led things onwards and upwards. And then we got a little bit of an altcoin rally, and then it bleeds back into Bitcoin. And that's kind of how these markets are kept up long-term, healthily, if you will. And that's basically what we've seen in traditional markets for the last like 20 years. 20 years, 15 to 20 years now. Oh, actually about 20 years. Holy shit. That's fucking crazy. Time does fly. Anyways, yeah, I am going to end it on that note. Again, Ethereum and Ethereum Bitcoin both looking very interesting here. So I think that they kind of deserve the attention. I think Bitcoin's going to take a bit of a back step, a back seat to, to some of the other things as they play a little bit of catch up, basically. So yeah, I'll end things right there. Again, looking forwards to a nice live stream later this week. If you're interested in such things, or if you're new here, because I do see that a lot of people who watch these videos aren't subscribed, please do consider subscribing, as I do these videos each and every day, and massively helps out the channel, and that would be cool. That would be super cool, man. That would be super cool. That's a really compelling argument, right? Anyways, I'm going to sign off on that note. As always, I want to wish you the best. Take care. Much love. See you hopefully tomorrow.